let me talk about animation for a bit, because animation now behaves differently. You can still animate stuff, but the main pre-built animations have been removed. You used to have zoom and pan, spin or something, slide, those were removed from the script layer. So right now, if you look at the timeline, you have your script layer is one continuous clip, right? Video, audio, whatever it is. So if I want to maybe animate my video, let me just make some room here. I want to animate this video for some reason. I don't know why I would do this, but I will do it. If I want to animate this video on the screen, or maybe I want to zoom in and out if I have a screen recording, then you would use animations, obviously. So if I want to move this from left to right, how would I do this? Well, I put it in the left here, and then I go to the layer, and down here I've got animation, right? You see it. If I click animation now, the only thing that shows up is custom. Before this, when I was clicking that plus icon, I would get a bunch of animations, zoom and pan, zoom in. There was no zoom out, and a couple more. Well, now it's just custom. So if I click on custom, Descript actually moves me to a animation context. If you look down here now, they're really hard to see. These two things are keyframes. And this is my animation. So the first keyframe shows the starting point, and the second one, the ending point, right? So if I click on the second one and I grab my object and move it to the right-hand side, then over the course of that animation, that object is going to move from left to right. Watch this. It's intermediate and advanced. So check those out. We'll have a link in the show notes. And that is the animation, right? That is a custom animation. It requires you to specify both the starting position and the ending position of that video, clip, whatever it is, okay? So this is what you can do on the script track only. If you are talking about a different object that doesn't live in the script track, so let me just show you. I'm going to make the timeline smaller now. Inside of this scene, I'm just going to go ahead and add an object. I'm going to go to elements and add a circle. Let me make it smaller. Here we go. So this circle, if I want to animate this circle, then check this out. If I go to layer and click on animation, I have now two categories. I do have the custom. So if I want to do a custom animation, just like I did with my script layer, I can do that by defining the starting and the ending point. That's fine, using keyframes. But if you try and create these other animations in and out, they are actually easier to use because you don't need to think about keyframes. Where's the keyframe? What's happening there? So the in and the out refer to the beginning of the clip and the end of the clip. So for the in animation, I'm going to choose slide. There you go. I've created an animation. Let's see what it does. So my object is right there on the, let me just maximize this canvas only so we can see it better. So right now my ellipse is starting here. So if I play from before that, it happens to come in when the scene is starting. So just let me move it a little. So here we go. Look, Gmail, lots of Microsoft. You can see how it slides in from the left. And then the out animation happens at the end. Let me just cut the end here. So again, on this circle, this is the selected object. I go to plus again, animation out. The out animation means how do you want to get rid of this object? When it goes off the screen, how do you want it to go off? And I'm going to go and do a wipe. And if I play now, wife and two sons going on vacation. That's too much. And exploring new places in the south, it wipes. It wipes it left to right. So if I zoom in very, very close, you see this little curve. That's an animation curve. And if I move my playhead here, you can actually see what happens. My object is being wiped from left to right. Now, these animations, the in and the out, you can change them. So if I have the slide here and I don't like the slide or I don't like the wipe for the exit, I can use this drop down and change it. Let's say I want to slide it again. So it's going to now slide. There you go. It's sliding out. Other things you can change, if you click on the menu next to them, you have a lot of properties here. First of all, you can change the duration of that animation by just dragging and saying, you know what, I'm going to have it slide over 2 seconds. So you see that curve down there changed. It's much longer now. You can see this little dot. I don't know if you can see it on the stream, but this little dot allows you to define where the animation starts. And it basically means 2 seconds from the ending, just like I specified here. So if I move now this and play it, and exploring new places, it fades out much slower and slides out much slower because it is over 2 seconds. Now, the next changing is the easing for the animation. So this is another thing you can control. And you have much more options now. So a lot of these have been added in the last update. You've got speeding up, slowing down, elastic bouncing. You have it bouncing, right? So if I go to the beginning of the animation on the entry, when the ellipse comes in and I click on the in animation, I'm going to make that one 2 seconds also. What I like is that these things stay open. So you can move them here. So I have my in animation is here and my out animation is here. So if I actually want to preview it, I don't actually have to go to put my playhead all the time. You have this little play button here. Watch this. Lots of Microsoft software. And so that's nice because it just lets you preview it right from that menu without hunting down, oh, I need to move my playhead, click the play button, Gmail, lots of Microsoft software, and there you go. And you can just say, whatever changes I'm making, I'm going to click to preview. Lots of Microsoft software, and the easing here, let's say bounce. Check this out. Lots of Microsoft software, and you can see it bounces. If I wanted to bounce up to down, the next change is the direction of the animation. Top to down, top to bottom, and let's see. Lots of Microsoft software, and now it falls in like a little ball. Very nice, okay? And the amount of bouncing or whatever, lots of Microsoft software, and you can control that. And if you want to have fading in and out switched off, now the object is not going to fade in, it's just going to show up. Lots of Microsoft software, and there you go. So these are the new animation options. You can control the ending and which really, most people, that's all they want. They want to bring the object in an interesting way and exit in an interesting way. Now, what I would love to have is grouping objects, and I'm sure you will too, because grouping objects would allow you to do things such as, I have a lower thirds with someone's name on it, a background, a text with their title, maybe a logo showing up on the bottom left corner. Now that is like 4 objects or maybe 6 objects, depending on how you're playing with the design. Now, animating 6 objects requires a lot of animations to be added manually. What would it be if I could group those objects so I'm putting them nicely on the screen where I want them, and then I'm grouping them, and then I can animate the group itself. So the objects inside don't need animations because I am actually animating the entire group. Well, if I want to go inside the group and animate one of the objects, maybe make it blink or something, then yeah, I could do that. But this is what Camtasia does. And it's such a nice thing because it allows you to create reusable assets, and the properties of those assets, such as text, names of people and things like that, they are actually accessible outside of the group when you select it. That is what Camtasia does, and I may do a video on that too. But this is my feature request for Descript to allow grouping, and I know others are asking for that as well. Grouping is great. So in animation, just to summarize, we haven't actually lost much. We just got new animations, and we kind of lost the zoom and pan, which I'm hoping comes back somehow to allow you to zoom in and out, especially when you're doing screen recordings and you want to zoom into an area. That is really necessary.